Welcome to another Q&A with Angelina. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about purpose. This is a question I get a lot. How do I know my purpose? So let's get into that today. Let's get started.
Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day, I'm gonna make.
All right, let's get into purpose. Before we can talk about how you discover your purpose, let's first define purpose. So purpose is the reason you were put here on earth. Your reason that God created you and placed you here on earth. And some church folks like to call it a calling, but it is the reason why you were created. What is it that you are supposed to do and impact others while you are here on earth? So that's pretty much your purpose. And so we have to, in order to discover our purpose, start with our identity. You have to know who you are. What are your giftings? What are those God-given natural talents that you have been given? What are your abilities? What is the knowledge and wisdom that you have gained? What are your values? All of those play a part in discovering your purpose. And it usually starts around with your giftings. So you have these natural giftings and wisdoms and knowledge and abilities, right? And you have a lot of them, and usually your purpose starts with your giftings, and you have to ask yourself, well, I have all these gifts, and I have all these things that I can do, that I'm good at, but which one am I supposed to use in order to bless the earth and bless the people here on earth? And that can be very tough, because you might have a gift that's you're given to in order to make money, while you have another gift that's supposed to be used to bless people. And sometimes we get them a little mixed up trying to use what we have to make money to also bless people. And that's not to say that the two can't be combined, because they can. But sometimes you got to know when your gifting is just that. It's my means and my giftings and abilities to be able to survive and take care of me and my family, versus I have a gifting that can bless others, that if I follow my purpose and I use my gifting the way that it was given to me, that guess what? The money will come. So you start with your giftings, but it's kind of hard sometimes to determine which one should you be using. And so that's when you got to go a little bit further than just your identity. You have to start looking at your passions. And a lot of time your purpose is birthed out of a passion or a pain. Maybe you went through something and it has caused you some pain that you don't want others to go through. And so now you have a solution to that pain. And so it's just a passion burning inside of you that you just feel like you've got to give to others so that they can either not go through what you went through, or perhaps you can ease the pain that they may be going through. So you might want to look at your pain and also look at your passions. But then sometimes you got to go back deep into your childhood and in your teenage years and maybe your 20s, depending on how old you are, and start looking at the things that were birthed down inside of you way back when. I mean, let's think about what you wanted to be when you were in elementary, and then you may have changed it, but what did you want to do and be when you were in high school? And when you got out of high school, what did you go to college for? But then you changed your mind and you decided you wanted to do something else. You got to look back on your jobs that you had and the skills that you've gotten, because a lot of times we have jobs that prepare us for our purpose. And so you got to look back on the jobs that you had and the skills that you've gotten from that job and the knowledge and wisdom that you've gotten from the job, and just begin to put all those things together. And when you do, you'll begin to see a pattern forming as that's directing you to your ultimate purpose. So it's many a ways that if you just don't know it, if it's not been dropped in your spirit that this is what I'm supposed to do with my life, this is how I'm supposed to help others, then you might want to first do some self-discovery of your identity, and then start looking back over your life and all the things that you've done and all the things that you've learned and the jobs that you've had and the things that you wanted to do, and start seeing a correlation between them all, and then you'll begin to discover what is your purpose. So that is the short answer of how to discover your purpose. There's so much more that goes into that, and so I will just look in the future for a video training to talk more about purpose and being able to look at the difference between the giftings that you have and which one is you're supposed to actually use to bless others versus which ones do you have that can actually make you some money. So thank you for tuning in for another episode of Q&A with Angelina, and I hope to see you again. Stay tuned and take care.
Every single day